This is Richard Fowler. I'm John Kilpatrick. We're with Okolona Aikido, Louisville, Kentucky, USA. And in Aikido, it's not part of formal practice to practice taking away handguns. Knives, swords, joes, but not handguns. But the other day, the guys asked me if we could spend some time taking away handguns. And so I looked on the internet, and there are a lot of different ways of taking handguns, and 4 of them look very much like Aikido techniques. And one of the ones that's very popular that you see a lot is where the guy is holding the gun, and so he's pointed at you here, and this is called the fast gun-taking technique. And I'm not going to try to do it fast, but the technique is like this. And so that looks really slick. Some people commenting on that say, well, if he holds that tightly, you can't take it. And actually, people who are really good pistoliers are trained to hold a gun really tightly. So, you know, in real life, the guy may actually be confident and hold it tightly. And so one of the websites or YouTube channels argues that the only reason the gun is so easy to take is, in the first place, it's not real and your partner's not really trying. And in the second place, you come in here and you smash him in the arm here and it really hurts. And so he lets go of it so it won't hurt as much. So, and really that's kind of my experience. When we're trying to knock knives out of people's hands and trying to grab guns, and I don't consider any of these real techniques. This is not the way it would be done in Aikido. We would not do this. So what we're looking at is about how structure works and about hands, not as techniques. And I saw a Krav Maga video where he said that the key to this is hit right above the hand, right behind the thumb here. And that's the key to it. Well, we're going to do this without hitting at all. And we made kind of an interesting discovery. And that is that if I do this, say I do this like a Kotegaiichi, where I come in and grab his wrist here and try to take the gun, well, now I'm in a real fight. This is really hard to do. But if I just touch him, if I just put my finger here and just touch with my finger, it gets a whole lot easier to take the thing. And this is really quite amazing. And we thought, well, gee, how does this weaken your grip? You know, why does it weaken your grip if I come here and just touch and take this down, whereas if I grab and try to do it, it won't work. And so in some of my experiments, I tried it with a person sitting in a chair, and it would not work. And what this meant to me is that we're breaking their structure. It's not something going on in the hand. It's more like unbendable arm, where when you do the unbendable arm exercise, and I have a video about that, but when you do the unbendable arm, you're breaking the person's structure, and when you just touch and take the weapon, it's like doing an unbendable arm. And we usually train with knives, so I'm going to do this with a knife and get rid of this thing. So when he has a knife, then we can, if we want to, we can do something kind of like a Nikyo. And if he holds on to it, then as I come around here, I get this kind of bend in his structure. And let's come this way so that you can see this. And so once I get this bend and his structure is broken, then I can just come right through his body and take him down, and I end up with the knife. Whereas if I grab this and hold it tight and try to bend this down, now I'm in an awful fight and this becomes a chore. But if you just touch it and I move it to get it where you'd never do this just standing here in Aikido. Okay, I'm leaving out a lot of it as a real technique. What I'm interested in is the fact that if you don't grab it, it breaks its structure. And if you do grab it, it doesn't break its structure, and the technique is a whole lot harder to do. But if I move it across here and do it, I get this kind of bend, which makes it easy for me to go through him and throw it. And if he has it like this and I want to do Kotegaeshi, it's the same thing. And I'm just kind of making a V here. I don't grab, and then I come back, and this breaks his structure here, and I can just go through his center and throw it. So this breaking structure and then either going through his center or having him come through my center is a very amazing kind of concept. And we train where we're not cooperating, where our partners fight us when we're trying to throw them. And doing it this way we can, because we're not cranking on wrist, we're not going to injure it, it's safe. And really, just these touches, even when your partner's really fighting you and trying to keep you from throwing him, trying to counter your throw, it's a whole lot easier to throw the guy just touching him than it is when you glom onto him and try to force it.